do, like it's tradition here, we get to announce that this segment is our newspaper review, and we have a whole lot to talk about. But before then, we shall be coming back with our website, ABS website story. After that, we'll come back to give you that. Don't go anywhere. The show is just about to start. His name is Comrade Dominic Nnamdi Okabwe. Well, not Okabwe from my patrol, Anambra State. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Dominic.
Good morning, Mr. Okabwe, my namesake.
You're welcome.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. And quickly, without wasting much of your time, let's get to see what we have on the Anambra ABS website. Anambra State 2025 Annual Budget Stakeholders Interactive Session ends in Awka. Anambra State Assembly summons former chairman of Iron Dealers Union Market Attorney. Skill acquisition program inaugurated in Anocha Council area. And last but not the least, new Anambra State executive of Yowikan inaugurated. Well, we are seeming to have a lot of inauguration. Not recently, we just had the ANSTIEC, Anambra State electoral inauguration team being put into place.
Yes.
That's a welcome development, thing that the mandate of the people will definitely be met in that. But quickly, let's look at this, and then skill acquisition program inaugurated in Anocha Council area. That is the one that actually catches my fancy, because sincerely speaking, the way things are going now, youth need to be, properly engaged in order to not just make money, but then create employment for the community. What's your take on that?
Yes.
The Anocha Council area.
Absolutely. That is a very fantastic development. You see, in one of the occasions when I appeared on your program, I said that skill acquisition, remains the key. And the governor is highly passionate about it. He's very much intentional about it, okay? That program at Anocha is a very welcome development. And not only that it took place in Anocha, like today, the governor will be flagging off the second phase of the One Youth 2 scale. And I think that will cover over 1 million people. Do you understand?
Like the first and the second.
Yes, yes. And you see where he's driving at. Okay, he wants to empower the people. First of all, he will train them. Okay, we have what they call master trainers. Yeah. Those master trainers have been sensitized and trained. They will not be the one to train these people that is being inaugurated today on the second phase. So what it means is that when you are trained, whatever finance or capital you are given will be well utilized. Because when you give somebody who doesn't have a scale, a fund, the fund will end up not producing a result. Yeah. And it will still fall back to the society. Everybody becomes, continue to agitate. So I think it's a good direction.
Quickly, let's just look at that. Anambra State 2025 Annual Budget Stakeholders Interactive Sessions end in Awka. Talking about 2025 annual budget, you understand? And then the stakeholders, these are the people that are meant to look into what the next budget will probably be like, so that the government and then civil servants, every person will know what monetary implication that they have organizations will need in order to have a smooth running. Your stakeholder just ended in Awka. What's your take on that?
Yes, you cannot have effective administration without proper consultation. Yeah. And I think the governor of Anambra State must have to be commended on this approach, because the essence of engaging the stakeholders is to actually determine what is the want and the need of the people. Okay, nothing stops him from sitting at the comfort of his zone and proffer solution, whether that is actually what the people needs or not. Do you understand? Yeah. But calling for this kind of consultation where the people will make an input, okay, on actually what constitutes their demands, will make him to have a very progressive, good governance. Do you understand? So I think if this will be consolidated, do you understand? This has to be consolidated. It will not end on this stage. There is need for continuous harmonization and the collaboration so that by the time we have the budget, it will actually reflect what the needs of the people are. This is exactly what I also expected from our various representatives, both at the higher chamber and the lower chamber. But they're not doing it.
Probably maybe
okay.
We'll take a cue from what is happening in Anambra State and then probably that's why we are the light of the nation.
Let's hope so.
Let's go to the first paper we have for review this morning, and that's the Vanguard newspaper. And the banner headline is telling us, stay clear of our internal affairs. Federal government wants foreign powers. And you can see in the picture there, the service chiefs and their Senate leader on Defense Committee. We are probing 7 Polish nationals arrested over Russian flags in Kano. That's coming from DSS. A thug harassed journalists, beat up protesters in Rivers. Army arrests soldier whose warning shot and killed 16-year-old boy in Zaria. As COA's delegation visits family, Plateau, and Bauchi relaxed curfew. And then we have there at the mast of the Vanguard, UK assures Nigerians of safety amid riots. NNPCL to Senate, oil and gas industry bleeding. Federal government spends $600 million on fuel importation monthly. That's coming from Edu. And we have CBN eases forex pressure, sells at $872.26 million to end users at 1,495 naira per dollar. And then we have a Reps Committee chair denies giving 1.7 million bribe to Speaker Abbas. Wow. The Tigress soars to 8th in the FIBA rankings, and that's all we have on the Vanguard. Quickly, let's see what we have on the Daily Trust so that we can take because of want of time. Oil sector, I will reveal the truth when the time comes. That's coming from Kiari. Senate probes 1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt's refinery. We're yet to see a drop of oil being processed in that refinery. Federal government spends 600 monthly on fuel importation. That's coming from the finance minister. Yobe farmers take delivery of governor's bonus, agri empowerment implement and inputs. You can see a whole lot on the front page of Daily Trust. And quickly, let's delve into these 2 papers and see what we have for ourselves there. Wow, this is really, really interesting, getting to see the banner headline of the Vanguard newspaper. Steer clear of our internal affairs. Federal government wants foreign powers.
It's an unfortunate incident because I saw the foreign affairs minister when he addressed the various ambassadors to Nigeria, and he was very, very emphatic that no nation would, watch his internal security being sabotaged through a foreign influence. Recall that the DSS has come out to say that they arrested 7 Polish nationals in connection with the Russian flag. And I think that is coming from a credible information. As a matter of fact, the cardinal objective of every nation is to ensure for the protection of its territorial boundaries. And whatever that will negate this particular intention, no nation will take it lightly. Okay? While dealing in the global stage, the national interest of every nation becomes their core objective. And the moment you see the national interest of your country being sabotaged, I think that will call for a very severe action. So whoever that is involved in such an act has to be, revealed and dealt with in line with the law. Because it is unfortunate. Yes, we all acknowledge the right of citizens to protest, but not to, to be used against the internal security of your country. That is absolutely unbearable and cannot be condoned.
But I'm seeing conflicting stories here from our nationals, because yesterday what we saw on this same program on our newspaper review yesterday was 6 Spanish nationals.
Yes.
And today we are seeing Polish nationals. And then you begin to wonder, what is the link? How do you tie the 6 Spanish nationals to the 7 Polish nationals and then to the Russian flags that were flown?
Okay, let me remind you. During the national broadcast made by our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he recognized that the pains people are passing through was as a result of his economic policies, and emphasized that with time, these policies will yield a very good result. Then going down towards the end part of the same speech, he also said that the protest is having some political motivations. Do you understand? Yeah. That some politicians are behind the protest. This is a two conflicting statements. So while you were asking this question of the involvement of Polish nationals, you also recognized his statement towards the end part of his speech. So whatever that has, yes, the first stage was that the protest was as a result of his economic policies, which is biting hard on the citizens. Then towards the end part of the speech, he said the protest is also
politically
motivated. So that summarized the question.
Quickly, let's tie these two knots together, because I really don't understand what's happening here. The finance minister, Edwin, is telling us that Nigeria still spends $600 million on fuel importation after the removal of subsidy. And then in the same story we're having in Daily Trust here, oil sector, I will reveal the truth when the time comes. That's coming from Kiari, and this is in respect to the 1.5 billion spent on revamping the Port Harcourt refinery.
Okay. This is one of the issues that will keep on confusing many Nigerians, because during his inaugural speech, the president said unequivocally, without any iota of equivocation, that subsidy is gone. Do you understand? Yeah. And he also gave fantastic reasons, which we believe that if truly that reason, will reflect, the realities on the ground, Nigerians will only suffer for a very short moment. Unfortunately, it is not what we were told that we are seeing. Behind the scene, subsidy is being paid according to the information coming from the finance minister and the coordinating minister of the economy. And such information coming from a very high-profile government official cannot be treated as a fallacy. Do you understand? So this is one of the questions that many Nigerians are asking, and even Kaira himself, the NNPC boss, also has a question to answer. Why saying when the time comes? The time has come. People are on the street protesting over policies that is hitting hard on them. And you said when the time comes, if there are some irregularities in the oil sector, this is the best time for you to come up and tell Nigerians actually what is happening. You shouldn't wait until everybody dies, because the bone of contention today, the major cost of what we are passing through today is this policy on petroleum subsidy removal. I tell you today, if the fuel price is reduced to normal, everything will come back to normal. Yeah, we know the implication on the economy. But let us know the truth and know actually what is happening. Not telling us that this is A and behind the scene it is B. So anybody that knows anything regarding this oil sector corruption must have to come out and tell Nigerians
the truth and exonerate yourself as we speak. It's a matter of fact. But now, when we're coming to talk about the $600 million,
yes,
how much did an individual use in building a refinery? So if you take into consideration that this administration has been in power for 14 months, and you do the math of adding $600 million by, okay, let's say 1 year, do you know how much of that money?
You asked as if you don't know the politics of oil sector. You see, have you bothered to ask yourself, why is it that the moment government do privatization, you will see efficiency and effectiveness, but the moment it is left on the coffers of the public, you will see deterioration. You will see the total destroyed system, a total corrupt system. You see, they don't want the Nigerian government to have this refinery. 1.5 billion US dollar has been released to fix the Port Harcourt refineries, and nothing was shown. There's nothing to show about it. Look at Dangote private refinery is about to come into operation.
They're even starving him of crude.
Okay, yes. Now you see there are cabals in this oil sector. Okay, the moment the citizens are suffering, the moment they are reaching their pocket, so those cabal will never allow this refinery we are talking about to work out. Even with the removal of subsidy, if we get our refineries intact and operational, do you understand? The fuel pump price will continue to come down because there will be a kind of competition. Okay, so many people will come into and that will kill monopolization. How can we have oil and we are still importing oil, paying with dollar? So it is unfortunate. So it has to be addressed.
Well, while we're talking about the issue being addressed, let's see what we have on the Daily Independent newspaper. And the banner headline is still talking about end bad governance, protest. Federal government rejects foreign interference, launches probe into violence. That's the rider. The rider says Tinubu didn't take office to make life difficult for citizens. Drama as 2 lawyers appear in court seeking Rivers expenditure shut down. Find on page 29 of the Daily Independent. Economic sabotage counters out. That's coming from NNPC Limited. APC planning unrest ahead of Guber polls in Edo. The government alleges that you can find on page 6. Protest, NSPDC arrests 12 suspects for vandalizing infrastructure in FCT. Army arrests soldier for killing protester in Kaduna. Protests burning politicians' houses could lead to anarchy. NNPP warns. Insists government took took people for granted. On the mast of the Daily Independent, you see coup threat must be destroyed. CDS charges ECOWAS counterparts. Prevailing hardship temporary. I am addressing challenges, says Tinubu. Well, the question is how fast? The Nigerian Tribune is what we have next. Minister NNPCL Dangote orders take fight before Senate panel and demand live broadcast of probe. We are not thieves. Nigerians unfair to us. Kyari. Federal government yet to meet 2024 crude targets. That's coming from Edu. We are competing against Russian products being sent to Africa. Dangote refinery. That's what he's saying there. Senate raises question over 1.5 billion expended on Port Harcourt refinery. In trending video, Tinubu appeals to Nigerians for patience over hardship. Nigeria rates 6th globally, first in Africa in tuberculosis prevalence. NYSC declares Akwa Ibom coordinator driver missing. Shetima Obasanjo Southwest governors orders to attend Osun Industrial Investment Summit in September. Army begins investigation, detains soldier over killing 16-year-old boy in Zaria. My son just finished writing final secondary school exams. That's coming from the mother. Attack on Kanu oldest printing press, ploy to destroy Kanu City. That's coming from Amy Sanusi. Federal government spent 600 million monthly to import fuel. That's coming from the finance minister. I didn't offer $1.7 million to speaker to secure chairman of downstream committee, Ugo Chinyere. Leadership, Reps leadership denies receiving inducement for appointments. Quickly, let's see what we have here. Lots of interesting stories here, but $1.7 million.
Yes, yes.
Just because you want to be chairman of downstream.
I was shocked when I saw the news. But obviously, you must understand the politics of National Assembly. Okay? That is why when it is time for leadership, tussle, you see various camps. The essence of those camps and divide is that any camp that later emerged will first of all consider its subordinate for sensitive positions. None of these committees is given for free. That is called politics of National Assembly, politics of lobbying. For you to get a serious committee, yes, it is normal in politics. Both the leadership of National Assembly will deny it. They understand? Just like every other allegation in politics. Somebody will do something and you ask the person, he said, I didn't do it. They understand? So, yes, in every rumor, there is, element of truth. Yeah. Some of these people lobby to have some of these sensitive positions because they know that it is lucrative. And because it is lucrative, they want to get it so that they can now use it as a means of empowerment in their various constituencies and in national politics. Do you understand? So there is every tendency that something may have passed through the table, but nobody will tell you because it is unethical. So,
well, talking about prevailing hardship and then the message that is going viral, where the president is telling Nigerians that the hardship is temporary and that we are addressing the challenges that's coming from the president.
You see, nobody is doubting the fact that the federal government is addressing these challenges, but the question should be how fast, what are the templates, what are the processes. From the address he made that was early this week, yeah, I think that was the 4th of the protest, yeah. You discover that there are things people are eager to hear. One of those things people are eager to hear is a bold statement regarding the subsidy removal. Do you understand? Then that is one of the issues they want to hear. But at the end of the day, nothing was said about the subsidy. Okay, those who lost their life in during the process of the protest, they also want to hear a very vocal statement. Do you understand? Because I think the protest started in a very peaceful manner before there are some other people who call themselves anti-protesters. Do you understand? So these are some of the issues. And there are so many demands the pioneers of this protest have placed on the table, and they want the Mr. President to address these issues one after the other. They also demanded for a roundtable meeting. Do you understand? Though, from his own side, he said the group are generic and highly amorphous, and therefore, you cannot discuss with faceless individuals because nobody has been able to say, yes, I'm the leader of this protest, unlike during the time of the former NLC chairman and the former governor of Edo State, who is now a senator, Adams Oshomole. During their own time, that was during the time of Obasanjo, they will come out to say, yes, we are the one organizing the protest. Do you understand? And the people will now know who to call upon if anything goes wrong. But why it is different, why this one is different is that the community, the society has become so porous. And if you come out to say you are the leader of this protest, if anything goes wrong, you will be held responsible. Whereas you cannot control those people. Of course. Do you understand? So these are some of the challenges because I cannot address issues that concerns me outside my presence. So there's need for a roundtable discussion, but who is ready to come out and mobilize those people to sit down and articulate what their issues are?
Well, that's what we are finding out. The Guardian newspaper is up next for review this morning, and then the banner headline is talking, higher education. Amid hurdles, public universities make 12 billion naira from transcript request in 5 years. Wow. CBN auctions $876 million at 1,495 naira per dollar to clear retail foreign exchange request backlog. Economic sabotage. Senate queries 1.5 billion spent on Port Harcourt refinery. Sanusi links Kano violent protest to intelligence failure. Despite subsidy removal, we told you earlier on, Nigeria spends 600 million monthly on fuel imports. That's coming from the Minister of Finance. 24,816 people killed, 15,597 kidnapped in Nigeria in 5 years. In another address, Tinubu asks Nigerians to look beyond temporary pains. Grandma, son, grandchildren die after eating amala meal in Ilorin. Coup, terrorism threatening West African existence, says CDS. And then quickly, let's see what we have on the Punch newspaper. The banner headline, hunger protest loses steam as DSS grills 7 foreigners. And the writers are saying, police crackdown halts protests, US, UK demand dialogue. Northern governors relax curfew. Sanusi blames Kanu looting on intelligence failure. Tension rises as soldier shoots boy in Kaduna. Nigeria urges ECOWAS defense chiefs to curb coups. Power generation hits 3-year high of 5,105 megawatts. EFCC quizzes Ogun officials over government funds. Olympics, gallant the Tigress bows out in quarter-finals. Oil theft reps denies speakers 1.7 million bribe for appointment. Fuel queues may linger till next week. That's coming from marketers. CBN dumps 12 months forex policy with 876 million auction. Crude crisis, National Assembly to probe NNPC and Dangote refinery. Quickly, what do you have to say on this? Talking about the protest losing steam.
Of course, what do we expect? You see, before the commencement of the protest, there has been serious motivation among Nigerians. But you discover that government also do not go back to sleep. There are so many consultations, there are so many meetings held, there are so many interventions from the government, from the federal government. Do you understand? Yeah. So the force, okay, the initial force of the so-called protest was later, subpedal. It is no longer the actual force they came up with. And the government held a meeting with so many traditional rulers, clergy, and what have you. Do you understand? These are, yes, stakeholders. These meetings and consultation were aimed at, suppressing the high level of motivation from the citizens. And that actually affected the outcome of the protest. I am also happy. Let me say it because I think I have to say it. The people of Southeast played a very good maturity, and they must have to be commended. Do you understand? Without any form of reservation. We don't need protest in Southeast, because if we protest, at the end of the day, our public infrastructures will be vandalized. And it is still the same scarce resources that we are saying that we don't have enough that will be used to, to replenish, to rebuild them. So we don't need it. Okay, already we are marginalized. Okay, so what we need to do is to use the little resources we have to manage ourselves and improve on our economy. Do you understand?
Are you saying, Dominic, if there's going to be a fallout of, let's say, benefit of this protest, and some part of the region now come and say, okay, since the Southeast didn't participate in this protest, therefore there should not be benefit?
There has never been a way in the history of this nation, okay, economic sharing formula was on the basis of protest. There has never in the history of Nigeria. Do you understand? Okay, let me tell you. Last week or last 2 weeks, Southeast Economic Development Initiative was signed by Mr. President, just like we have in the Northeast and Niger Delta, whatever. Yes, he did it because he saw the reason to sign it, because we needed it. We are suffering the same thing they are suffering over there. Yeah. Do you understand? So protest is a voluntary action. You can decide to protest when you think you need to protest, but we have no reason to protest. Yes, we have no reason to protest. All we need.
Are you sure we have no reason to protest? The same economic inflation.
Yes, but we need to understand our background. We need to understand our background. We came from a background where we are feeling that we are marginalized. Do you understand? Political and otherwise. So joining people who are marginalizing you to protest, at the end of the day, it will be for your own detriment. What you need to do is to manage yourself, think together, consult together, and combine force to build the economy. Our various, like Anambra State here, our government is working. So are we protesting to vandalize those things the governor is putting in place? The economic hardship is general. Yeah. It's not only peculiar to one state. So what you need to do is to do the things you need to do, support your own government, and see whether the policy change, if Mr. President is intentional about it. Once it changes, it will reflect.
Well, let's ask this question. Amid others, public universities make 12 billion from transcript requests in 5 years. And then you begin to wonder what is the essence of all the strikes and the rest of it all. If just transcript requests can generate 12 billion for public universities in Nigeria. So what happens to other monies like school fees and the rest of it all that they collect from students over the years?
It's just like it is something that all of us know. Do you understand? Because the moment you graduate from the school, maybe you think you don't need to further your academics. In 2 years' time, based on your profession, you may need to come back to do your master's. Exactly. Depending on any university you want to do it, you must come back to the university where you graduated from. And they will tell you how much it is. You don't have option. You will pay the money and even appreciate them. So look at the number of graduates, the school produce each year. Maybe almost 6,000, 10,000, and maybe half of them apply for transcript. They fix the price. Nobody checkmates. Nobody checks. Do you understand? They can decide to say 50,000. They can decide to say 24,000. They can fix the price. They have the monopoly. I think there's need for the National University Commission to sit down and look at certain activities, of the university system. Because at the end of the day, it will still be for the detriment of the people. Do you understand? So this price, even as much as I recognize the right of universities to place their fees depending on their running cost, there is also need to regulate these activities so that the people will not be at the detriment end of the whole process. Okay? It is not easy to run a school, to run the university system, but also you must also understand that the state government and the federal government also give them what they call subvention. Do you understand? And they get money from TED fund. These are ways of improving the infrastructure of the university system. But as it regards the transcript and other internal fees paid by students and what have you, it has to be, harmonized and make it look very moderate.
That's interesting to know. Quickly, let's see what we have for you on the Nation newspaper. The banner headline is still talking about the protest. DSS Arrest 7 Europeans. Steer clear federal government tells foreign nations. Killer soldier held. Yobe farmers take delivery of Governor Buni's agri equipment and implement inputs. We have on the mast there, you have CBN injects $876 million into the Nigerian forex market via Dutch auction. Nelfon records highest student loan request in 24 hours. Polytechnics, colleges of education get governing councils. Smear campaign, campaigners behind 10 million bribery allegations, stays Rep, Deputy Speaker. That's what we have for you here on the Nation newspaper, talking about Nelfon records highest student loan request in 24 hours. Well, amidst the strike, and even when they were telling you that during this week, when INEC were compiling their voter registration for the Ogun, and Ondo and Edo elections, they said more than 65% of new voters, newly registered voters, were students. In fact, the figure they gave was 4.8 million registered, but for those two states, 4.8 million were students. And now we are seeing Nelfon records highest student loan request in 24 hours. Not too long ago, or we are still in, we're not yet in the 10th day of August. So the protest is still ongoing.
Yet.
Amidst all of this, we are still having students going to the cyber cafe requesting for loans, polytechnic, colleges of education getting governing councils, and then you begin to wonder. The bulk of Nigeria's population is the youth. It's recorded in the last election, general election. And then you begin to see the clamorings of the government. Then you begin to wonder, what can the government do in order to get this youth? You just talked about thousands graduating on a yearly basis.
Yes.
And there is no place for them to get gainful employment.
You see, this will tell you how conscious people are. Do you understand? And that will tell you what they pass through going through the university system. Do you understand? This opportunity that was provided by the federal government, had it been the people are comfortable with the status quo, they wouldn't have gone to the cyber cafe to register for this loan. Do you understand? But because they didn't have the opportunity all this while. So now that the opportunity has been, availed to them, you see the massive rush. Okay? These are people who have access to internet. What of those who are in remote areas, who doesn't have access to this? That will tell you the suffering the Nigerian students are passing through. You see, there in Overs, government can train somebody from all through the university system, and when you are out of school, they will give you employment. But if you are yet to get employment, they will be sustaining you with some stipends until you get employed. So when you are working through your tax and other levies, they will collect it back. That is how to. That is the best way to go. That is an organized society. I wish a time will come when our leaders will structure this country and the educational sector in a way that any Nigerians that want to go through the university system will have every opportunity of doing so without any reason to suffer. Do you understand? People are suffering going through the university system, and not as if you graduate they'll give you a job. That one is the most frustrating aspect of it. So there is need for them to improve.
Well, we have here, don't fund politics with union dues. That's the ministry talking about NLC and TUC, telling us that you don't fund politics with money.
Last night, the national headquarters of the NLC was, invaded. Let me use the word invaded by the DSS, and what they said was that they have a credible information that there are some documents that led to the protest under the, that is stored within the office of the NLC. The president of the NLC have also come out to say that they have ordered their staff to vacate the office to avoid being harmed by maybe any bomb or any suicide attack by the Nigerian, by the DSS, alleging that he doesn't know their intention. Yeah. So the truth of the matter is yet to unveil. This happened last night, and this morning we are seeing the news. The federal government or the security agencies was saying that they have credible information, that the NLC is funding the protest using membership dues. Do you understand? Why the NLC president and the TUC president have also come out to, disassociate themselves from the allegation. But let's watch as the event unfold and see what will be the outcome of those two conflicting allegations.
Well, on that note, we'll say thank you, Comrade Dominic Nnamdi Okagwe, political analyst, public affairs discussant. We thank you so much for making yourself available. And for you out there that read and heard all we talked about this morning, you can go to any newspaper stand, or better still, with the comfort of your phone, wherever you are, you can read through all these papers and get to know what happens and feed yourself with vital information about your country. I remain Ajuluchukwu Okagwe. Tomorrow we'll definitely get to do it again. Bye for now, on the other side of the discussion.
Thank you so much. Have a great week ahead.
Thank you.